Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface, and if you saw the video that I posted this afternoon, you'll realise there was some very, very important information contained within it. And that important information, of course, was this is the last Golden Lotus daily video that I'm doing. It's over now. This is it. I think there was also some information about a release date for World of Warcraft Mr. Pandaria, but I think this was quite clearly the most important of the informations I provided. So finally, I've managed to turn to exalted with the Golden Lotus, and this grants me now the final part of the quest chain, which will lead to an end. And it involves some more phasing outside, so it's quite cool to see that, because now I see the Veil of Eternal Blossoms in a different light. This was the trap room that we were in earlier, and I just walked straight through it. The traps are still active. And as you saw, if I'd continued to go through the next room, I would have been killed. So again, stick to the right tiles. If you don't stick onto the right tiles, then you'll get hit by the traps and die. And it takes us to this dragon serpent boss. And I've got to say, this boss was great to fight. First of all, you can't stand still, because it fires those rings of electrical charges at yourself. So if you stand in them, you start to tick for some great big damage. It then drags you over the side down to the bottom there, and I just decided to sit back and wait for its attacks to dissipate. However, as you saw, it just covers the floor completely in that hefty electrical charge, and if you stand in it, you take about 40k damage. So I was very impressed with this boss fight and its mechanics, considering it's a solo boss. Because you can only fight this if people are at the same state that you're in. You can't just rope your friends in to help. And sadly, and I do mean this, it was better than the vast majority of the bosses that we've fought in heroic dungeons, which of course we all know aren't heroic, but Blizzard want to call them heroic still. So that was like, you know, good to fight, and then again, a little bit, you know, my cynical side was just like, well, why couldn't a lot more of the bosses within dungeons sort of been like, at least as interesting as that? But hey, there we go. So this is going to take us to the next part of the quest. Now, you don't just have to pick up the quests from her, you could actually pick them up here in the Golden Pagoda, and it does give you the option to do so. It says you can either pick it up from so-and-so, or you can pick it up from so-and-so. So it doesn't quite matter where you are. But we're going back to the Silent Sanctuary, which I liberated at the last part of my previous video, and now everyone's dead. Everybody's dead. So I liberated it for no good reason whatsoever, and all the weapons have been stolen. So I had to take, you know, find the weapons, find the armor, and the pandas, which if you've done any beta testing of Mr. Pandaria, are the most useless race of people you could ever hope to come across. They're just terrible. They don't do anything to help themselves whatsoever. The most enabled species within Azeroth. Absolutely, completely. They've lost it all, and I've got to go back and try and redeem. Try and make up for what's going on. So now I've been infused with the power of certain bosses, and I've got to kill 100 of these Mogu invaders. And my best advice for this situation, and yes, the keen-eyed people who are watching this video may have seen that one of my hits from this power-up hit somebody for over 1 million damage. Yeah. My best advice in this situation is to try and get to these groups as best as possible. Because your power only stays on you for a certain amount of time, and then it drops. I'm not sure, there are 3 bosses that give you their power, so I'm not sure if it drops off when you've got a third of the kills, or around that area. But it will drop off for a time, you will have to kill a couple more ads on your own, and then another boss will come along and infuse you with its abilities. Like this time now, I've got the ability to freeze people, and then the very next strike, after they've been frozen, will just instantly kill them. So if you find those groups, you can decimate 10, 12 people in no time whatsoever, and it'll help you just complete this part of the quest a lot quicker, because those groups of ads don't tend to spawn particularly quickly. So unfortunately, you are relegated to having to fight them in 1s and 2s again. And then this final ability, which I've got from one of the bosses, now hits for earth damage and knocks people back. And if they get knocked back, when they land, they will instantly die again. So just try and find the groups. It'll just enable you to kill people a lot quicker. Sadly, like I said, the spawn rates are low, so I've been relegated to just trying to pick them off one or two at a time. But I'm nearly there. It's no drama. I wouldn't say it's the most fun sort of mass wipeout quest, because we've had a few quests where we've had to wipe out, you know, a vast amount of people. My favourite one, personally, would probably have been in Wrath of the Lich King, where we're defending one of the towns, and we had to climb up to those guns on the towers, and then wipe out the invaders down below with a cannon, while also being attacked by the undead ice dragons who were blasting the guns down. So we had to get off and then move to another cannon, and you know, that was probably my favourite multi-kill quest, which I'd call it. But this one was relatively satisfying. It wasn't terrible by any stretch. It was relatively satisfying, especially when you got to a group. You did feel pretty powerful. And then once we're killed there, it's sending us now to the final boss fight, which I complete and utterly cocked up. So, apologies, I get killed twice during this encounter. He's very nearly dead, his old Zhao. And he just does that ability there, which covers the whole of the area, and it ticks for humongous damage. I mean, I literally had absolutely no time to react to any kind of damage negators, and then when I revived, he threw his weapon, so I picked up his weapon, and before I even had time to activate the action button, he just wiped me out again. But fortunately, once I revived, he was just automatically killed by NPCs. So that's the end of the Golden Lotus. I hope you've enjoyed my videos on this subject. Please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with more a little later on. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.